Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Small Caps. I'm your host, Jess Furtick. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Matthew Skinner. He is the CFO of Wide Open Agriculture. The company's ticker code is WOA. Hi, Matt. It's great to have you on the show.
Fantastic to meet you. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Matt, the company has had a huge quarter, including, entering the UK market with your lupin-based protein products, and also securing an investment and distribution deal with UK clean ingredients company Inga Group, as well as a string of other announcements that you've announced in January, which is very exciting. But before we delve into those, can you please give our Small Caps audience just a brief overview of the company and your products?
Sure, would love to. So Wide Open Agriculture is a regenerative food and agriculture company based in WA. What that means is we focus on products that really look out for and develop and nurture the soil and soil health. And it's a different way of farming, and it's bringing products to market that have a much better environmental impact than traditional products. We're focused primarily on lupins as a real amazing crop here in WA. Lupins have an amazing nutritional profile, and we have created a world-beating protein product made from lupins that we call Buntine Protein that we're bringing to the world, and we're very excited about that.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, just talking about that protein, would you mind elaborating just on the specific advantages of Wide Open's lupin protein compared to other existing pea protein options that are out there in the market?
Yeah, sure. So lupins are nutritionally excellent in terms of their protein and fiber content. So they're about 40% protein, 40% fiber, and then some carbohydrates and other products. That is a very nutritionally balanced source of nutrition for humans. And they don't have the starch content that pea does, and they have environmental advantages over soy. So what we can deliver is a product that is nutritionally very, great for humans. And what we have developed is a production process licensed from Curtin University that adds significant functionality to the lupin protein. And what that means is it works a lot better in food applications than the likes of pea and soy and fava. So that means it mixes better and it sets in structures better so that you can take out a lot of additives, E-numbers, sweeteners that you typically have to find when you use competitive products like pea and soy.
So essentially more nutritious and more sustainable, potentially.
Yeah, exactly right. The sustainability aspect. So lupins are a nitrogen fixer. So they can, they take nitrogen from the air and fix it into the soil, and nitrogen is an essential part of artificial fertilizers. So by planting lupins, farmers can reduce their artificial fertilizer use and increase the protein yield of future crops that they plant after lupins. So we really think they are nature's superfood.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, you guys just announced in January your latest distribution agreement with Nissei. Now, Nissei boasts a vast network. How does Wide Open plan to leverage this partnership to penetrate the Japanese market?
Yeah, so Nissei are an amazing partner for us. They have, extensive history in whey proteins, particularly from New Zealand. And so they know the ingredient market in Japan really well. And what we're able to do, not just with Nissei, but with all our partners, is go to them with Buntine Protein and show them the range of food applications it works in, and then help them leverage their network in Japan to demonstrate the functionality of the product with their network of food companies and R&D teams so that we can work with them on not just new product development, which is an exciting part of the pipeline for Buntine Protein, but also on recipe upgrades. So when you want to take pea or soy out of your product for whatever reason, we're there to show that Buntine Protein can work really well as a replacement for those products. So we're really excited that Nissei have decided to work with us, and we're really excited to head into Japan.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, looking at sort of the future market potential in the UK specifically, beyond cheese and spreads and creamers, what other non-dairy applications hold promise for your lupin protein products in Europe?
Yeah, it's a huge market in Europe. It's a very developed plant protein sector, and we're only just scratching the surface of what Buntine Protein is capable of. I think outside of the alt dairy sector, I mean, we talk about cheeses, spreads, creamers. It works really well in non-dairy milks. So oat milk in particular, when you add it, it creates a dairy equivalent protein milk. But it also adds a lovely creamy texture, which is very difficult for plant protein, plant-based milks to replicate. But outside that, we're really excited about the sort of fitness and wellness sector in plant-based shakes. So it does really well for those supplements. We've used it to fortify bread. So we've got high protein bread. We make an amazing sourdough using our Buntine protein as a replacement for some of the wheat. Makes high protein cookies as well. Great chewiness with a high protein boost. So it also works in noodles, ice creams. As I said, the potential is endless, and we're limited only by the amount of time we've had to really play around with what it can do. So it's very exciting.
Unreal. That there's so many applications with this and so much potential as you mentioned, Matt. Talking about timelines now. Wide Open acquired ProLupin's facility last year. What modifications are needed to produce Buntine protein there specifically? And what is the timeline for reaching, say, 1,000 tons per annum in production?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So the exciting thing about the ProLupin plant is essentially we needed to make no modifications to its existing setup in terms of, it was designed to extract protein from lupins. What we did have to do was bolt on our modification equipment that really adds that functionality to the lupin protein and creates that Buntine protein. The exciting thing is the supplier of that equipment is based in Germany, 3 hours from the plant. And so we were very quickly able to buy some units in Germany, get them shipped to our factory and install them. And we were delighted to announce in our latest quarterly announcement that we have successfully made Buntine protein at scale in the facility. So very quickly we've turned it on. We are able to scale it modularly. So we buy units, and as production increases, we can buy more units. And we think we can get up to about 1,000 tons per annum, probably within the next 12 to 18 months. And that really gives us the potential to service large customers out of Europe and really expand globally from that facility. So, it's a really exciting step for the company.
Yeah, fantastic. And now assuming that will bring in some cash flow in the future, but now talking finance. So in the last quarter, you announced 4.2 million in cash. So how are you going to balance, continued R&D efforts with scaling up production and commercialization that we're just talking about now?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, we have developed a large range of applications that Buntine protein can be used for. And so we have a huge market opportunity already to target those products in those markets. So in terms of R&D, there is limited additional R&D we really need to focus on at the moment. We're always exploring new applications in the boundaries of what it can do. But in terms of an available market, it's ready now. We have a huge network of partners that we are working with to really deliver that product directly to the R&D and new product development teams of big global manufacturers. And that process is ongoing. Jay, the CEO, talked about that pipeline and the design wins that we've achieved in the latest 4C. And what that really means is, we're in those test kitchens, we're in those R&D facilities. Our Buntine protein is being used in new product development, and we are being chosen as the protein of choice for new product development. So, those design wins are really exciting. That will generate sales that will help us manage, that production increase, which I talked about. Getting that modular growth can be funded by existing cash flow. And that gives us a good runway of increasing production and generating cash flow from the facility in the future.
Yeah, brilliant, Matt. Now, beyond sort of product expansion, and beyond Japan and Europe, which you entered into last year and this year, what other regions are high on Wide Open's radar in terms of market expansion in 2024?
Yeah, I think that the two big markets we're going to look at is the US, obviously, huge innovation in plant-based proteins in the US. Lots of people looking for alternatives for pea and soy. And Asia is the other one where, there's a huge population growth and a huge population in need of, sufficient protein to support human development. And, we think Buntine Protein is well placed for both those markets. But in the short term, Europe is really a key market for us. We've got the production facility there. We've signed an amazing partner there, and we're really excited to see it take shape and fly onto the shelves in supermarkets in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Now, Matt, just a last question from me, which is, given the competitive landscape, what are, in your opinion, the biggest challenges and opportunities that Wide Open anticipates in achieving its growth targets for this year?
Yeah, so I think one of the big challenges is the sort of investment bubble around some of the plant-based protein companies has kind of burst a little bit. So people look at the sector as a slightly unloved sector at the moment. But what that fails to really understand is that the underlying demand from customers and food manufacturers is growing significantly. So the underlying demand is there, and I think there's still huge potential in that market for continued growth. So I think that's really important. I think one of the other challenges is the pricing of some of the competitors. There's a sort of litigation going on in the US around the pricing of imported soy. There's significant capacity in some of the pea manufacturers as well globally, and that is driving down prices to a degree. The beauty, though, of Buntine Protein is we have this significant functional advantage, and what that allows food manufacturers to do is really reduce the cost in use of the protein. So that means while Buntine Protein is a slight premium to some of those other products because of its enhanced functionality, the ingredients you can take out, as I said, the flavors, the sweeteners, the E numbers, that essentially means that the price is probably on par with some of those competitors, or it could actually be cheaper. So we really feel from a cost in use perspective, we've got a really exciting advantage in the market. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, fantastic, Matt. And talking about advantages, I have just one more question, and that is, could you leave our small caps audience with just, 2 or 3 key takeaways as to why they should have Wide Open Agriculture on their investment watch list?
So I think there's the two things I would say is, one, we're at a really exciting inflection point in the company's history, which is we've taken Buntine Protein from a PhD project 3-4 years ago to commercial scale production in a commercial scale facility ready to hit the market now. And I think that's a really exciting inflection point. I think the second thing is, people talk a lot about ESG and greenwashing. We are a company committed to doing good. We've planted over 100,000 trees last year as part of a carbon reforestation project. Lupins are a superfood in helping transition away from fossil fuel-based fertilizers. And so I think a combination of those two things really gives us a great commercial win for investors, but also that core ESG story as well works really well when you look at the things that we're doing and the products we support.
Absolutely, Matt. And I think, the ESG aspect is such an important component of investor decisions now. So it's wonderful to have this, expansion possibility, but then also doing it in the right way, in a sustainable way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So thanks so much, Matt. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's always such a pleasure to have a chat about the company's growth and what you guys have been up to, and really looking forward to having you back on the show again soon.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Jess. I appreciate your time.